A die is tossed once. Find the probability of getting a prime number. A 1/2, B 1/6, C 1/3, D 2/3. Okay, a die is tossed once. Now let me ask you a question. How many faces does a die has? A die has 6 faces, right? So let us list it. The faces that the die has, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we are now asked that what is the probability of getting a prime number? What are prime number? Prime number are numbers that are divisible by 1 and itself without a remainder. You understand? For example, 2 is a prime number, 3 is also a prime number, and 5 is a prime number. How many prime number do we have? We have 3 prime number. You understand? We have 3 prime number. Now, according to the basic laws of probability, the probability of getting a prime number is the numbers of prime number over numbers of observation over numbers of occurrence. You understand what I'm saying? Numbers of observation all over numbers of occurrence. That is, numbers of prime number that we have between the range of 1 and 6 all over 6. You understand? Okay. Now, for this, I'm going to have the probability of getting a prime number will be equals to total numbers of prime number all over total numbers of observation. Total numbers of observation. For this, I'm going to have this over 6. I'm going to have 1/2, which is the final answer. That means that option A is the correct option. Okay, so that is it. Now, for the next question, we are asked to the area of a sector of a circle with radius 7 cm is 51.3 cm squared. Calculate correct to nearest whole number the angles of the sector. We are asked to take pi equals to 22/7. Now, we are given that the area of the sector is what? 51.3 cm squared. The area of the sector, 51.3 cm squared. Now, we are given that the radius is equals to 7 cm. 7 cm. Now, to calculate the angle that the sector make, area of the sector, we are going to use the formula for area of the sector. Area of the sector is equals to theta over 360 multiplied by 2, pi r squared. Pi r squared, okay? This is the formula for calculating the area of a sector. Now, we are asked to determine the angle. The angle that we are looking for is the theta, you understand? And the area has been given as what? 51.3 cm squared. So I'm going to have 51.3 cm squared is equals to theta. We don't know it. Theta all over 360 multiplied by pi r squared. Pi is 22/7. 22/7 multiplied by 7 squared. Okay. Now let's determine the value of theta. For this, I'm going to have 51.3 is equals to theta all over 360 multiplied by 22 times 7. Okay. So theta is equals to 51.3 times 360 all over 22 times 7. All I did was that I just made theta the subject of the formula. Okay, I've not done anything. Now you can punch your calculator to get the value of theta. Now, if you divide 51.3 times 360 divided by 22 times 7, that will be 119.92. 119 theta is equals to 119.92. Now, because from the question we are asked to correct to the nearest whole number, we are going to have theta will be approximated to 120 degrees, because if you approximate this line, you're going to have 7. And if you approximate this line, you're going to have 1. 1 plus 19 will give us 120. Okay? 1 plus 119, that will be 120. So the right option to that question is option B is correct. Okay? Option B is the correct option to that question. Now, for the next question, a cliff on the bank of a river is 87 meters high. A boat on the river is 22 meters away from the foot of the cliff. calculate, correct to the nearest degree, the angle of depression of the boat from the top of the cliff. Okay, let us first interpret the question. Okay, this topic is coming from angle of elevation and depression. You understand? So I want to pay attention very well. Okay, now from the question, a cliff on the bank of a river is 87 meters high. Now let us call this the cliff. Okay, let's call this the cliff is 87 meters high. So we have 87 meters. This is the bank of the river. You understand? This is the bank of the river, and here the boat on the river is 22 meters away from the foot of the cliff. So let us assume that this is the boat. You understand? We have the boat here. The boat is 22 meters away from the cliff. So the distance between the boat and the cliff here, don't mind my diagram, okay? Just pay attention. the boat is 22 meters away from the foot of the cliff. Calculate, correct to the nearest degree, the angle of depression of the boat from the top of the cliff. Okay, this is the angle that I have to calculate. This is the diagram that you're going to have. Okay, this is the diagram that you're going to have. We have to calculate the angle. Calculate the angle of depression of the boat from the top of the cliff. Now, maybe you missed our class on angle of elevation and depression. You can always check the channel, check the playlist on this channel to watch those classes. Okay, so now we want to calculate the angle of depression. Let me bring out the diagram very well so that you can see. This is the diagram, right angle triangle. We have 22 meters here and we have 87 meters. We have angle theta here. This angle is alternate to this angle. If this angle is alpha, listen. Okay, let's use theta. If this angle is theta, this angle will also be theta. You understand? Okay. Now, to get the angle, to get the angle of depression, we need to use the combination from our basic trigonometry. You know that there is a topic known as there is a mnemonic device known as SOHCAHTOA. So it is that you are going to use to calculate the theta. Now, what combination combine? This is opposite and this is adjacent. What combination combine opposite and adjacent together? The combination is tan theta. Okay, so to get the theta, I'm going to have tan theta is equals to opposite. The opposite is 87 all over adjacent, which is 22. So theta is equals to the tan inverse of 87 over 22. Okay, so theta is equals to now 87 divided by 22. That is 3.9545. Tan inverse of 3.9545. Okay, so theta is equals to the inverse of tan 3.9545. That is 75.8 degree. 75.8 degree. Now we are told to approximate to the nearest. Please pay attention. You have to approximate to the nearest degree. So if you want to approximate, we are going to have theta is equals to 76 degree. Do you understand? Okay, so that is the solution to that question. The correct option is option A. Okay, let's move to the next question. In the diagram on the board, TU is a tangent to the circle SPQR. You see? Please go. TU P S R S S R P. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. In the diagram, TU is a tangent to the circle SPQR. This line TU that you see here touch this circle at this point. You understand? So it's a tangent to this circle. Okay. Now, at P, if angle PTS is 44 degree, angle PTS, this angle that you see here is 44 degree, and angle SQP is 35 degree, angle SQP, this angle that you see here is 35 degree. Find angle PTS, find angle PTS, angle PST, sorry. We are asked to find angle PST. This is the angle that you're looking for. This angle that you see here is the angle that you're looking for, okay? Now, we don't know the angle, right? So let us represent it like as y, okay? Now, angle, please pay attention. I want to start the solution right now, okay? This is circle geometry, and in circle geometry, there are many theorems. And one of the theorem is that angles in alternate segments are equal. You understand? So, now, angle SQP is equals to angle, please pay attention, angle SPT. The reason is that alternate angles in the alternate segments are equal. Do you understand? Angles in the alternate segments are equal. So this angle that you see here is equals to this angle, that is 35 degree. Do you understand? Okay, now having gotten angle SPT as 35 degree, I can easily calculate for the value of y using the sum of angles in a triangle. Okay, so for this I'm going to have y plus 44 degree plus 35 degree equals to 180 degree. That is sum of angles in a triangle. So to get the value of y, I can sum this up. I'm going to have y plus now 44 degree plus 35 degree, that is 78 degree. Okay, so I'm going to have plus 79 degree equals to 180 degree. Okay, y equals to 180 degree minus 79 degree. Y equals to 101. Okay, that is the value of y. So the angle angle PST that we have to look for is 101 degree. Do you understand? Okay, let's check the correct option to that question. We have option A. Option A is 101 degree, which is correct. Option B 125, option C 130 degree, and option D 135 degree. The right option to that question is option A. Do you understand? Okay, now let's proceed to the next question. Question 46 now. The probability that Amaka will pass an examination is 3/7 and that Bala will pass is 4/9. Find the probability that both will pass the examination. Okay, now please listen to the question. The probability that Amaka will pass an examination is 3/7. So probability that Amaka pass the exam is that is 3/7. Yes. Then the probability that Bala will pass exam is 4/9. So the probability that Bala will pass the exam is 4/9, right? Yes. Now, what is the probability that both of them will pass an examination? Okay, the probability that both of them will pass the examination is the product of this and this. Okay, the probability that both Amaka and Bala will pass the examination is the product of the probability of pass for Amaka and that of pass for Bala. You understand? So for this, I'm going to have 3/7 multiplied by 4/9. Okay, 3 here 1, 3 here 3. Okay, 7 times 3 is 21. So I'm going to have 4/21. Do you understand? Okay, so let's check the correct option. We have option A 2/21, option B 4/21, option C 5/21, option D 9/21. The right option is option B 4/21. Okay, now let us proceed to the next question. Which of the following points lies on the line 3x minus 8y equals to 11? Okay, we are given the points in the The points are A 1,1, B 1,-1, C -1,1, and D -1, -1. Okay, now let us check 47. That's for question 47. Which of the following point lies on the line 3x minus 8y? 3x minus 8y equals to 11. Now, listen to me carefully. Any point that is going to lie on this any point that is going to lie on this line, it must satisfy the line. Are you paying attention? That is, the value of x and y must satisfy this equation. Do you understand? Listen to me. On every point we have coordinates, right? Coordinates x, y. You understand? That is 2 values. And if you check the option, we're having 2 values, right? Yes. Now, any point that will satisfy this satisfy this line. By the time I substitute the value of x and y, I must get 11. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so the first option is 1 comma 1. So we have first option 1 comma 1. Now if x is 1 and y is 1, let us substitute. I'm going to have 3 times 1, right? That is 3, right? 3. Then negative 1 times 1, that is what? Negative 8. 3 minus 8 is what? Negative 5. This option A is not correct. Okay, now option B, we have 1 comma negative 1. Option B, 1 comma negative 1. 1 comma negative 1. Okay, if x is 1 and y is negative 1, let us substitute the values into this equation. 3 times 1, when x is 1, 3 times 1 is 3, yes. Negative 1 times negative 8 times negative 1, that is what? Positive 8. That is 3 plus 8. That will be what? 11. So this line, which is option 2, satisfy the equation. Hence, the point that lies on this line is 1 comma negative 1. Do you understand? Maybe I should take the explanation again. Okay, I told you that any point that lies on this line, it must satisfy the line. The meaning of satisfying means that by the time I substitute the value of x and y, which are the coordinates of that point, I must get 11. Do you understand? And I try for the first options, it doesn't give me 11, you can see. And when I check the second option, it gives me 11. If you check for the third and the fourth option, you're not going to get 11. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? You can test it. So the right option to that question is option B. Okay, 1 comma negative 1. Okay, now let us proceed to the next question. Find the range of the following set of numbers. We have 28, 29, 39, 38, 33, 37, 26, 20, 15, and 25. A, 22. B, 24. C, 25. D, 27. Well, you know that range is the maximum value minus the minimum value among our data set. You understand? The maximum value in our data set minus the minimum value will give us the range of that data. Okay, so now in an attempt to help you to calculate the range, first identify the maximum value. Okay, first identify the maximum value. The maximum value among that data set is 39, right? Yes. So the maximum value is 39, and the minimum value is what? Okay, let me give you the formula for range. Range is equals to maximum value minus the minimum value. Okay, so the maximum value among that data set is 39. Okay, so I'm going to have 39 here minus the minimum value. The minimum value is 15, so I'm going to have 39 minus 15. 39 minus 15 is 24. Okay, so the right option to that question is option B. Okay, that is the right option to that question. It's 24. Okay, now for question 49. For question 49, the fourth and the eighth terms of an arithmetic progression are 16 and 40 respectively. Find the common difference. Okay, please kindly pay attention. Okay, kindly pay attention. It's simple. Okay, let's go. The fourth and the eighth terms of an arithmetic progression are 16. So the fourth term is what? Let me say it. T4 is what? 16. And the eighth term, T8, is equals to what? 40. Now, find the common difference. How do we get the common difference? Now, don't forget that an arithmetic progression is a type of sequence whereby the successive term differs by a constant and by a constant. That constant is what we call the common difference. Do you understand? So now let's go. The nth term of an arithmetic progression is given by this formula: a plus n minus 1 multiplied by d. Do you understand? Okay. Now, if this is the nth term, if you want to calculate the terms in any arithmetic progression, you are going to make use of this formula. Do you understand? Now, we have been given that the fourth term is what? 16, right? So T4 is 16, so I'm going to have 16 equals to a plus, now n will be 4 now because the fourth term has been given as 16. Do you understand? Okay, I'm going to have 4 minus 1 multiplied by d. Okay, so I'm going to have 16 is equals to a plus 3d rather. So call this one equation 1. Do you understand? Now we have been given that the eighth term is also 40. Do you understand? So in this case, I'm going to have T8, which is what? 40. Let us write it with another one. 40 is equals to A plus, now because we are dealing with 8 term now, the value of n will be 8. I'm going to have 8 minus 1 multiplied by d. Okay, so I'm going to have 40 is equals to a plus 7d. Call this one equation 2. Okay, now we have two equations. We have a pairs of equation which can be solved simultaneously. Do you understand? Now if you want to solve this equation simultaneously, okay, let me write this for very well. This is okay, 7d, a plus 7d. Now we can solve this equation simultaneously. You can use elimination method or substitution method. So let us combine both equations. I have equation 1, a plus 3d equals to what? Equals to 16. And then equation 2, a plus 7d equals to 40. I can eliminate a. Are you there? I can eliminate a by subtracting equation 2 from equation 1. Okay, this is equation 2. So let us subtract equation 2 from equation 1. So let us put minus. A minus a is 0. You understand? 3d minus 7d, that is what? Minus 4d, right? Equals to 16 minus 40. That will give us 24. Okay, so I'm going to have 24 here. Minus 24 rather. 16 minus 40. A minus a, 0. 3d minus 7d, negative 4d. 16 minus 40, that is what? Negative 24. Do you understand? Now, we are having negative 24. What is the next step? We are looking for d. Just divide both sides by negative 4. Are you getting it? So, I'm going to have this over negative 4 and this over negative 4. D is equals to 6. Do you understand? Because 6 times 4 will give us 24. So, let us check for the right option in that question. We have A, negative 6. B, 6. C, negative 2. D, 2. The right option to that question is option B, which is 6. Do you understand? Okay, let's proceed to the next question, which is question 50, which is the last question for the OBJ 2024. That's the last question. So okay, now for what values of y is y plus 2 all over 8y squared minus 10y plus 3 not defined? Okay, now listen to me. In mathematics, a statement is undefined if the result is invalid. Now, because in the question we are having a fraction and whose denominator is a quadratic equation, so all you have to do is that just set the denominator equals to 0. Do you understand? Okay, the meaning of that question is that for what value of y will this fraction be undivided? It means that for what value of y will the denominator equals to 0? You understand? Because if the denominator is equivalent to 0, the numerator over 0 will give us an invalid result. You understand? And that will make it undefined. Okay, so in that case, all you have to do is that just set the denominator equals to 0. So you can see we have the fraction y plus 2 all over 8y squared minus 10y plus 3. Okay, so in an attempt to help us to solve for the value of y that will make this fraction to be undefined, all you have to do is that just set the denominator equals to 0. So I'm going to have 8y squared minus 10y plus 3 equals to 0. Then solve for the value of y. Okay, now we want to solve for the value of y. What can we add together that will give us negative 10? And by the time we take their product, we're going to have 24. This we've learned how to solve quadratic equation using factorization method in our previous class. So if you missed that class, make sure you check the channel and watch those classes. Okay, there I explain in details how to factorize and solve quadratic equation using the factorization method, and even completing the square and the general formula as well. Okay, so make sure you check the channel. Now, what can we add together that will give us negative 10? And if we take their product, the product of these two numbers, we're going to have 24. Well, the value are negative 6 and negative 4. Let us try it. Negative 6 plus negative 4. What's the answer? Negative 6, negative 4. That's what? Negative 10. Now, negative 6 times negative 4. What's the answer? That is what? 24. Okay, so those values that we need are negative 6 and negative 4. So in that case, I'm going to replace this negative 10 as negative 6 and negative 4. So I'm going to have 8y squared minus negative 6 minus 4. Okay, sorry, minus 6 minus 4y plus 3 equals to 0. Do you know what I did? I just replace this negative 10 as negative 6, negative 4. Negative 6, negative 4 means that negative 10. You understand? Okay. So negative 6, negative 4 means negative 10. So in that case, I can write this as 8y squared minus 6y minus 4y plus 3 equals to 0. Do you understand? Okay. Having done that, you can rearrange the equation. We're going to have 8y squared minus 4y minus 6y plus 3 equals to 0. Okay. Now we can factorize. How do we factorize? Let us factorize this part and then factorize this part. Let's factorize the first part. What is common to 8y squared and negative 4y? 4y is common. So I'm going to have 4y multiplied by, now I'm going to have 2y minus 1. Okay. Now what is common to negative 6y and plus 3? That is minus 3. Minus 3 is common to both negative 6y and plus 3. So I'm going to have this 2y minus 1. Okay. This will be equals to 0. Now please pay attention. You want to learn more on these topics, quadratic equation, there is a playlist on this channel. Make sure you watch those videos. Okay. Check the playlist. There are many classes that I've already done on this. Okay. So make sure you watch those classes. Now, having gotten to this point, the next step is that you can see that this bracket, the content in this bracket is also the same thing as what we have here. So all you have to do is that just set 2y minus 1 equals to 0. 2y minus 1 equals to 0. And what you have outside the bracket as well, set it equals to 0. So I'm going to have 4y minus 3 equals to 0. Now make y the subject of the relation in every of these linear equations. So I'm going to have y equals to 1 over 2. And for this, I'm going to have y equals to 3 over 4. Okay, so the values of y that will make the expression y plus 2 over 8y squared minus 10y plus 3 to be undefined is y equals to 1 over 2 and 3 over 4. Y equals to 1 over 2 and 3 over 4. So the correct option to that question is option D. Okay, so don't forget, I told you that even it might not be a quadratic. You might not have a quadratic at the denominator now, but when you hear the word undefined and you are given something like this in the exam, just set the denominator equals to 0 and solve for the value of the variable that you have there. Okay, so that's what the solution for 2024 mathematics. So if you are a student that is preparing for these exams, this is for you.
Before you go, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also make sure you like and share the video to your friends. Okay, and also don't forget to give me feedback. Tell me what you learned in the video, tell me what you learned in the course of the class, tell me what you don't understand also, and in addition, tell me the topics that you want to learn, the topics that you don't understand. Okay, God will help you in your forthcoming exam. See you in the next class.